Is silence truly golden, or is it sometimes complicity and wrongdoing? They say that silence is the best way to avoid conflict, a way to maintain harmony. But is that true in every situation? Stoic philosophy teaches us that we must not choose indifference in the face of wrongdoing. Marcus Aurelius once said, "What is not good for the hive is not good for the bee." In other words, when we allow something wrong to continue without speaking up, we are contributing to the weakening of the community we live in. Today, we will explore 5 situations where you should never remain silent. These moments not only test your courage, but also define who you are, both in terms of moral character and personal values. Most importantly, we will learn how to face these moments in the way Stoic philosophers have taught us, with integrity, courage, and action for the greater good. Silence may be easy, but speaking up is true strength. So, what will you choose? If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. It means a lot to us. Thank you for your support. Are you ready? Let's get started. Number 1. When silence allows ignorance to spread. Have you ever scrolled through social media and come across a post spreading misinformation? Perhaps it's an unfounded rumor about health, such as a claim that a certain vaccine causes harm without any evidence, or posts promoting miracle treatments never recognized by science. You pause, read it, and deep down, you know the information is false. But then you keep scrolling, choosing to stay silent because you don't want to spark arguments or get into online debates. At first glance, staying silent seems like the simplest way to avoid trouble. But think again. When you stay silent, you're allowing that misinformation to spread unchecked, enabling others to believe in falsehoods. The consequences of such ignorance can be severe, from someone missing out on an essential vaccination to people relying on unproven treatments, putting themselves in danger. Stoic philosophy reminds us that the truth cannot be distorted without consequences. Epictetus once said, "We cannot control what others believe, but we can control what we choose to spread." This means that while you may not be able to change everyone's mind, you bear responsibility for the truth and how you protect it. Once, I came across a social media post claiming that hot lemon water can kill viruses. Many people shared and supported it in the comments. At first, I considered staying silent, thinking, this isn't my problem, someone else will handle it. But then I realized that by remaining silent, I was contributing to the spread of this misinformation. I took the time to look up credible scientific resources and then left a polite comment. Actually, according to studies from the WHO, there's no evidence that drinking hot lemon water can kill viruses. However, maintaining good health and healthy habits is always a great idea. Not everyone agreed with me, but a few people thanked me for sharing accurate information. That was enough for me to know that speaking up, even once, can make a difference. So what can you do when faced with similar situations? Research the truth. Before speaking up, make sure you've gathered enough information from reliable sources such as major health organizations, universities, or scientific reports. Engage respectfully. When you speak up, avoid criticism or making others feel belittled. Use gentle language, such as, "I understand why you might think that, but I've researched this and found out." Share credible information. Instead of just pointing out what's wrong, provide solutions or correct information. Include a trustworthy link or resource to help others verify it. The truth cannot defend itself. It needs brave individuals to speak up, even in the smallest situations. By doing so, you're not only protecting the truth, but also preventing ignorance from harming the community. Silence may be easy, but speaking the truth is the action that truly matters. Number 2. When a loved one is self-destructing. Perhaps nothing is more heartbreaking than watching someone you love spiral down a path of self-destruction. It might be a friend who is increasingly isolating themselves, trapped in a depression they refuse to acknowledge. You see them sinking deeper every day, but you don't know what to do. And instead of speaking up, you choose silence. I want you to pause and ask yourself, who is your silence helping? You might think you're respecting their space or hoping they'll get through it on their own, but the truth is, staying silent in this situation is not only neglecting your responsibility, it can also make your loved one feel abandoned. Stoic philosophy teaches that every action we take, or fail to take, affects the world around us. Epictetus once said, "Happiness and misery are not in circumstances, but in how we perceive and respond to them." By choosing to confront someone's suffering instead of avoiding it, you act with virtue, courage, and love. I once had a friend named Sarah. Sarah was full of energy, but during a tough period in her life, she began to change. She withdrew from relationships, refused to attend gatherings she once loved, and always seemed to have a dark cloud hanging over her. At first I thought, she just needs time. I shouldn't interfere too much. But my silence only made Sarah feel like no one truly cared. She fell deeper into her depression, and I realized I couldn't stand by any longer. I decided to start a simple, non-judgmental conversation. I said, "Sarah, I've noticed that you haven't been yourself lately. If you're comfortable, I'm here to listen." She didn't open up immediately, but I stayed patient. Instead of just saying, "Let me know if you need anything," I offered concrete ways to help. "I can go with you to see a professional, or we could just take a walk together if it might help you feel better." Eventually, Sarah agreed to seek professional help. Although her recovery wasn't easy, I knew my timely intervention had made a difference. If you're facing a similar situation, here are 3 practical steps to help a loved one who is self-destructing. Listen without judgment. Let them know you're there for them without pushing or judging. A simple statement like, "I've noticed you're not doing well lately. If you'd like to share, I'm here to listen," can open the door. Avoid giving advice immediately or saying things like, "You should just cheer up." Focus on listening so they feel understood. Offer specific help. Instead of saying, "Let me know if you need anything," proactively suggest ways you can assist. For example, "I can help you find a therapist," or "I'll come with you if you're nervous about going alone." Specific offers of help can provide more comfort than a vague gesture. Encourage professional support. If their situation is serious, gently encourage them to seek help from a psychologist, doctor, or support service. You might say, "I'm not an expert, but I think it would help to talk to someone who understands and can guide you through this." Don't give up if they initially resist. Your patience and encouragement may be the push they need to make the right decision. Remember, your silence is not protection. It may unintentionally feel like abandonment. Sometimes speaking up, even just to ask how they're doing, can save not just their mood, but their life. Love isn't about standing by. Love is about taking action, even when it's hard. Number 3. When personal boundaries are violated. Have you ever felt that your kindness was being taken advantage of, or that you had to sacrifice too much to maintain harmony in relationships? Sometimes we stay silent when our personal boundaries are crossed, fearing we might hurt others or cause conflict. However, Stoic philosophy teaches that no one can respect you if you don't respect yourself first. Epictetus once said, "No one is truly free who has not mastered themselves." This means that protecting your personal boundaries isn't selfish, it's an act of self-respect. I once had a close friend named Alex. Alex often borrowed money from me, and at first I thought, he probably just needs a little help. I should support him. But as time went on, it became a recurring pattern, with the amounts increasing. At first, I didn't dare say anything, fearing it might jeopardize our friendship. But the longer I stayed silent, the more frustrated I felt, and our relationship grew strained. I realized that by failing to set boundaries, I wasn't just harming my financial stability, but also giving Alex the impression that his behavior was acceptable. Eventually, I decided to have an honest conversation with him. I said, "Alex, I really value our friendship, but I can't continue lending you money without clear terms. If you need help in other ways, I'm always here for you." Initially, he was upset, but over time, Alex understood and changed. Not only was our relationship preserved, but it also became healthier. If you find yourself in a similar situation, here's how you can protect your personal boundaries positively. Understand your values. Ask yourself, what matters most to you? What boundaries do you need to establish to feel comfortable and maintain self-respect? Communicate boundaries, clearly and respectfully. When addressing the issue, keep your tone calm yet firm. For example, "I truly value this relationship, but I think we need clarity so that both of us can feel comfortable." Stay firm without guilt. If the other person doesn't accept your boundaries, remember that their negative reaction isn't your fault. You have the right to be respected and to uphold your personal values. Protecting personal boundaries isn't about rejecting others. It's about affirming your own worth. When you dare to speak up, you not only protect your self-esteem, but also build relationships rooted in mutual respect and understanding. Remember, boundaries aren't meant to create distance. They're meant to protect what matters most to you. Number 4. When witnessing injustice. Injustice takes many forms, from seemingly harmless words laden with prejudice to outright discriminatory actions in education or the workplace. The most terrifying truth is this: injustice persists not just because of those who perpetrate it, but also because of those who choose silence when they witness it. Consider this scenario. In a company, a talented employee is repeatedly passed over for promotion simply because they don't fit the company's image. The phrase "fit the image" may sound harmless, but in reality, it masks a deeper truth: bias based on gender, ethnicity, or personal prejudice. Such incidents don't happen just once. They recur, fostering an environment where capable individuals are sidelined simply because they don't meet arbitrary or unreasonable standards. Stoic philosophy teaches that we cannot remain indifferent in the face of injustice. Marcus Aurelius once said, "What is not good for the community is not good for the individual." When you stay silent in the face of injustice, you not only harm the victim but also undermine the moral values of both yourself and the community you live in. I once had a friend who worked in education. Within her team of educators, one colleague was often excluded from major projects, despite being just as competent as everyone else. People noticed, but no one spoke up, fearing they'd create trouble with management. My friend struggled internally. She didn't want to be labeled a troublemaker, but she also couldn't bear to see her colleague treated unfairly. Eventually, she decided to act. First, she began privately discussing the issue with her other colleagues to find allies. She asked, "Have you noticed this isn't fair? I think we should do something about it." Then she and a group of co-workers gathered specific examples, such as ignored emails and meetings the colleague wasn't invited to. Finally, they presented the issue to management in a professional manner, saying, "We've noticed an imbalance in how opportunities are distributed, and we'd like to discuss ways to improve this." The result? Management acknowledged the problem and implemented clearer policies to ensure fairness within the team. Most importantly, the wronged colleague felt heard and respected. When you witness injustice, whether large or small, taking action is essential. However, how you act matters just as much. Here are 3 steps to help you speak up effectively. Find allies. Don't fight alone. Look for people who share your perspective and are willing to take action with you. Having support amplifies your voice and reduces isolation. Gather evidence. Before speaking up, ensure you have enough information and concrete examples to support your case. This will help you avoid being dismissed as emotional and strengthen your argument. Evidence can include emails, reports, or even testimonies from others. Speak through appropriate channels. Choose a professional and context-appropriate approach. For example, if injustice happens at work, talk to your manager or HR. If it occurs in education, report it to school administrators or relevant authorities. Maintain a calm demeanor and focus on solutions. You might say, "I've noticed an issue with how opportunities are being distributed, and I think we need to address it." Remember, silence is never neutral. It either enables injustice or resists it. By choosing to speak up, you not only protect others, but also strengthen the values you stand for. Silence may be easy, but justice requires those willing to act. Let your voice be the flame that lights the darkness of injustice. Number 5. When honesty must be upheld. Honesty, simple in concept, but have you ever faced a situation where telling the truth became a daunting choice? Honesty isn't just a virtuous quality, it's the foundation for building trust and respect, whether in family, the workplace, or any community. However, in reality, there are moments when being truthful not only requires courage, but also serves as a test of personal ethics. Stoic philosophy teaches that living a virtuous life means doing the right thing not only when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." This reminds us that honesty is non-negotiable, regardless of the circumstances. I recall a time when I attended an important work meeting. A manager presented a report containing inaccurate information. I knew it was incorrect because I had worked directly with the data. In that moment, I hesitated. I thought, if I speak up, I might embarrass the manager. Is it worth it? I felt immense pressure. Who wants to be the one to disrupt the peace in a meeting? But then I remembered a question central to Stoic philosophy. What matters more, temporary comfort or the lasting value of honesty? In the end, I decided to speak up. I didn't do it to criticize anyone, but to safeguard the accuracy of our collective work. I said, "Excuse me, but I think this data might need to be rechecked, as there's a discrepancy in the original figures we collected." The room grew tense for a moment, but then the team began discussing and adjusting the report. It was corrected, and the project proceeded in the right direction. More importantly, I felt I had done the right thing, not just for the team, but for the values I hold dear. If you ever find yourself in a similar situation, where honesty is tested, here are 3 steps to maintain your integrity. Prepare before speaking up. Ensure you have enough data or information to back up your point. Think about how to express your concerns. Being honest doesn't mean being rude or critical. Speak gently but clearly, focusing on the issue, not the individual. Choose the right approach. If the situation is too sensitive, consider having a private conversation with the person involved rather than speaking up in front of others. For example, "I noticed a mismatch in this data. Could we review it together?" Focus on the greater good. Emphasize that speaking up is not about blame, but about ensuring the best outcome for everyone. This reduces tension and makes your perspective easier to accept. Remember, honesty isn't always easy, but it's always necessary. It is the foundation for living in alignment with your values and earning the trust of others. When you speak up for the truth, you not only protect your personal ethics, but also contribute to building a better community. Honesty is not a temporary choice. It is the compass that guides you through all circumstances. Remember, silence is never neutral. It either colludes with injustice and wrongdoing or serves as a powerful challenge against them. Every moment you choose silence, you let an opportunity for action slip away. But every time you speak up, you do what is right, not just for others, but also for yourself. Stoic philosophy teaches that courage is not the absence of fear, but the act of moving forward despite it. Great things don't start with grand gestures, but with small actions. A word, a question, a hesitant step forward. Every voice matters, and your voice could be the flame that lights the way for others. Choose courage over comfort, choose action over indifference, and choose your voice over silence. Thank you for taking the time to explore these valuable lessons with me in this video. If you found this content helpful, please hit the subscribe button to continue joining me on this journey of discovering meaningful values in life. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any videos. Each one is created with the hope of bringing something meaningful to you. I'd also love to hear from you. Please share your thoughts or your own story in the comments below. Your voice could be a tremendous source of inspiration, not just for me, but also for others seeking change and courage. Once again, thank you for accompanying me. Always stay true to integrity, courage, and the noble values you hold dear. See you in the next videos.